Hey Reddit, a couple of you had asked about my rig and what I'm doing with it today, and to break it down, so I thought I'd show you. So what we're doing here, I'm at the Kotzen Open, which is a tournament for the ancient Chinese board game Go. And I was asked to come and basically film some interviews and be able to edit them and basically put them up the same day really quickly. And so I needed to set my camera up so that it was easily movable and compact. There's a lot of people here. Chris, how many people are?
155.
155 people, and we were doing, and how many interviews we shot? Like 8? Something like 8 interviews?
Yeah.
Something like that. So a lot of interviews and a lot of different parts of this space, and I need to move things around and have it look good and sound good and be able to, most importantly, get it online as quickly as possible. So, on top of this, this is a Ben Rowe monopod. I can't remember the model number. Maybe it says somewhere. Nope, it doesn't. But it's a nice little monopod. It supports the weight of this. I think this is about 15 pounds. And it's got the Manfrotto Nitrotech head on here. I really like this. It's the cheapest tripod head that actually has a proper counterbalance. So when you loosen it, now it's not perfectly balanced right now, but there's a little piston here that provides counterbalance. So when it goes forward or back, it actually stays where it's supposed to, which is really handy. So I don't have to constantly lock and unlock this thing, which again lets me move quickly. So the sort of the center of this whole rig is the Blackmagic Pocket 4K right here with the tilted cage that everybody on Reddit knows about. With the top handle on this side, Samsung T5 SSD, again pretty standard, and it helps in this case because the transfer speeds are really fast and you're gonna have to get this stuff out very quickly. I have this really great microphone mount by Wooden Camera. It's kind of pricey. I think it was about $60, but I hate cold shoe mounts and I hate plastic. And so this is basically all metal, and it's an Airy 3/8 pin, 3/8 screw with Airy locating pin, so it actually stays put, doesn't rotate, which I love. And so I've got that on the front with the Sennheiser, what is this? MKE 600 shotgun mic. We actually ended up not using this basically all day, but it was a backup. So primarily we have, and so I have that going in, with the XLR cables and the mini XLR into the jack here, and then we have, I rented for this the Sennheiser AVX system with a handheld mic. So Chris, the interviewer, the person holding the phone, he was going around with this, interviewing people. Really handy, sound really good. There's a ton of noise here because there's 155 people playing, and so this really helps cancel out a lot of the ambient noise compared to this, because this obviously you can get a lot closer. So there's that. The Metabones Speed Booster XL, so I can put Canon glass. I have my 24 to 105. It's a solid zoom range. It's also just what I own, so that's why I have it. I have a base plate here. For power, I have a this battery bank by, what is it? I think Juicebox is the company. I like this. I like V-mount and gold mount batteries too, but this one's nice because when you lay it flat, it actually, I'll move this down. When you lay it flat on here, it doesn't obstruct the screen, and it's basically the same width as the camera. So it fits nicely. It lasts about 2 hours, plus the internal battery, which it'll charge, and that has a coiled cable going into the DC port over here. And then for the monitor, I have this small HD Focus 7, which seems to not be a very popular monitor for some reason. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but I think it's great. Couple cool things. One, like the Focus 5, the previous version, it has a recessed HDMI port, but this time it's a full-size HDMI, which is obviously a much better connection than the mini or micro HDMI that the old one had. So it protects the cable, which is really important to me because I don't want to break that or bend it or anything like that. And it's a great little screen. It does not have HDMI out. You can't do a loop through, which to me doesn't matter because I don't have other external monitors or EVFs, currently. So, it works just fine. So this is just going straight in, with the little right angle adapter that comes with the cage, right in here. Surrounding this monitor is the new, I pre-ordered this, the cage from Small Rig. Super fantastic. It protects it, and it has a built-in NATO rail on the bottom, right here. And I also attached a separate NATO rail here on the side. Sometimes I configure this, basically mounting the monitor on the side so I can flip it around, like a traditional camcorder. In this case, again, I wanted it compact. There's a lot of narrow sort of hallways here. I didn't want to have the monitor over here on the side and potentially, damage something or hit someone, so I want it very compact. I also don't like putting my monitor up here. I know that's really popular. People like to put the monitor either up on top of the handle here or in front. And to me, it's too tall. It's kind of weird. The way it is now, if I take it off here, it's really well balanced. So in addition to it being lower profile, it's just balanced front to back. So it's easy to maneuver very quickly, which is great. So I have the cage there. I have this. This is the best monitor mount I think I've ever used by Small Rig. I'll take it off here. I'll show you. So it's what's really nice about it, in addition to, if I can get this thing loose. There's a little trigger on the back. There we go. So it's NATO on both sides, and the cool thing about it, so it swivels. It's actually really hard to move when you don't have a monitor on it for leverage, but it rotates 360 degrees, and then it tilts I think 150 degrees. And so the reason why that's awesome, and it does all of this without having to tighten anything. I've been in situations where I need to quickly adjust the monitor, but I can't, I need both hands, one to hold the monitor, one to loosen the thing, and it's a whole mess. So this way, I don't have to do that. And compared to like rods, where sometimes it slips and it's a pain in the ass, this thing, let me put this back on. This thing doesn't slip at all. I think it's rated to withstand 1.2 kilos, which, what is that? Like 4 pounds? 2, 3, something like that. It supports the weight of this with I have two Anton Bauer 970, whatever they are, batteries on here. So pretty hefty. I can move it up and down super easy. Usually have it like this. When on the monopod, it's like this. I can look right at it. When I need to get to my screen, I can flip it down. I can get access to the screen. If I need to, if I'm up against a wall and I can't get behind the camera, it rotates, to either side. I mean, it's super handy. It's the best monitor mount I've ever used. I highly recommend it. And so that is attached to a Small Rig NATO rail, and they make a couple different sizes, but this is whatever, the 7cm one, onto one of their 15 mil rail blocks. And the juice spatter here, it has this weird, I can't remember the name of this. Somebody in the comments, I'm sure, will tell me, but it's a little quick release thing. It's pretty easy, and that's also just on a 15 mil rail block. And then the one other thing, sorry Chris, it's a little tricky there. And then the one other thing on here that I have, I also have a lens support, also from Small Rig, that I don't like. It has this weird, it's supposed to be a quick release thing because you only have one adjustment here. It doesn't clamp on both sides. But to get it off, you have to loosen this anyways because the lens is blocking it. So I need to upgrade this eventually. And then the one other thing I have that I'm actually not really utilizing right now is this 15 mil rail block with a rosette on the side. I have a rosette here from Small Rig that I occasionally will put here, and then I can remount my monitor elsewhere. In this case, I didn't end up needing it or using it, so I didn't. So yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and then the Manfrotto quick release on the bottom. It's really easy to get into the monopod head. Pretty standard stuff. So that's the camera rig. And then over here for editing, we have my Dell XPS 15 laptop and my trusty, dusty Kensington trackball. They make a couple of Expert mouse wireless trackball. There we go. Super great. Take it everywhere. It's kind of clunky and big, but I think it's really great, and I think it's worth getting. It saves your wrist. You can get really precise movements and really giant movements. It has an inbuilt scroll wheel, 2 extra function buttons. I can't edit on a trackpad. Normally I have a big computer, but when I need to travel, like we're doing here, again, we're basically shooting these interviews and throwing them up right away. It works great. So there's that, and then the one last thing, Chris, sorry again. All of this stuff fits in my Pelican 1560. Surprisingly, so this is not TSA approved. However, it does fit in the overhead bin, and I managed to get this and my laptop bag and another camera bag all on United without paying checked baggage fees, which is cool. And so the other thing that's cool, and actually I'll bring the camera over for this. So I have my my case configured here in such a way. Another thing. So I have this little pouch from, I think it's Think Tank. No, it's not. It's from some company on Amazon with all my power cables. So I have one for Ronin. I have another one for this this battery, a D-Tap, HDMI, XLR. Just all the power and cable things for this camera. And so what I do, so this fits here. And then this whole rig, when you take out the microphone, and I guess this, and then when this is flipped backwards, and I do take out the cables, but this whole thing actually fits.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
That's fine. Basically fits perfectly in this square. It fits totally perfectly. And I have another little piece of. Rolled up a couple of these dividers on a bungee just to kind of hold it in there. And then I usually rotate this thing down. And even though it's sticking up here, when this cable's not here, it actually fits perfectly flat, so I'm able to just take it out of the case, plug in a couple cables, and get going rather than taking the whole thing apart. And then over here, just accessories. I got another lens, mics, extra batteries, chargers, and whatever else. But I just wanted to show you this because everyone knows the Pocket 4K is you have to rig it up and it's a pain in the ass and it takes a long time, but I've managed to have it pretty compactly in a Pelican all together, and it works just fine. I know that's a ton of information. I apologize for the length, but hopefully you get something out of this. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. It was fun.